Hey, what's up guys? It's your girl Shawn, aka ShawnJ Game. I'm back with another YouTube video. If you guys tuned into the vlog yesterday, I told you guys I would have some facts for you today. And as you guys can see, we got the facts all laid out. I'm going to be going over basically everything they presented to us. We're really going to dive into some of the changes that are coming, as well as talking about the ones that I'm really excited about. Obviously, some of these you guys are going to see I'm just a little bit more passionate about. But I mean, obviously, as I was watching the presentation, some things stood out to me. So I really want to go into detail, kind of talk about everything. All right, so with that being said, let's hop into the vision for Modern Warfare 2. Basically, you know, what their goal is, what they are looking for this game to feel like. We talked about it being heroic and human. We talked about everything feeling real. We talked about everybody playing together and having fun, and obviously talked about making it as realistic as possible. So hopping into campaign, as you guys can see on the screen, they did let us know the characters, or some of the characters that are going to be featured in the campaign. Obviously you guys see the OGs, and there's going to be some new characters that we're going to be exploring as well. A character story they kind of touched on like in their presentation a lot was Alejandro Vargas. I think that's going to be like an interesting dynamic to see between the characters. But obviously you guys know the fan favorites. We got Captain John Price, Gaz, Ghost, Soap, the whole crews are here. To you in the campaign section, they basically gave us like a little story overview. The theme for the campaign is you are the company you keep. Next up in the presentation, they actually told us a little bit about the water. They basically meaning the most realistic, the most interactive. We really did like break down into some of the things about the water. It is going to be used in every mode, across every mode, so multiplayer, campaign, Warzone 2. As far as some of like the water mechanics go, they touched on coarse water simulation, fine water simulation. One thing I did wanted to touch on, you know, in regards to the water, we talked about like, you know, the visual, being able to see in the water. When you first jump in, it's like cloudy, foggy, and obviously they're just trying to make it realistic. The deeper you go, the darker it gets. They also talk about how, you know, if you're in the water, the water gunfights are going to be different. And then also as far as like, you know, water visibility, if an enemy is shooting somebody, say I dive into the water because I'm being shot at, basically the deeper obviously I go into the water, the enemy won't be able to just keep, you know, shooting me because they can just see through the water. The deeper I go, the harder it is going to be for them to find me. Plus the bullets work different in water as well. So obviously if I'm in water, if I'm underwater shooting somebody outside of the water, my bullets are going to be doing less damage. I thought that was something like really cool to like point out. We also talked about things interacting with the water, like if somebody was to throw a smoke out in the water, how the smoke would, you know, stay on top, or if we blow up a boat, how it'll actually sink. Just little stuff like that, you know, making it actually more realistic. But Gunsmith, now we're getting to, you know, the good stuff. Gunsmith this year is going to have even deeper customization than it's ever had before. You know, the goal is that they want us to be able to create our own play style, give us more power control over what we're doing with our loadouts. This is gonna be a longer section, but I mean, it is probably the most interesting section in this video. Gunsmith is getting a change we've never seen before. As you guys can see right here, it says platform. You start playing with the initial version of the gun, which could be an assault rifle or an SMG, and then you are unlocking further down the tree. It is like a family tree of guns. From that one gun, you are unlocking the next guns that live within its platform. That whole system is completely wild. It's just basically guns within guns. We kind of saw like a breakdown, you know, picture of it. But I can't really go into too much detail on that, but I do think the system is going to be a little crazy. They also said that all of these guns have both unique attachments and their shared pool amongst them. So as you're playing through, you don't have to start from scratch every time. So basically, if you level up a weapon, you know, basically max it out, you'll still be able to unlock different tiers. And to give you guys even more in regards to the Gunsmith, this next slide is probably going to blow your mind. I literally put my hands on my head when they started talking about it. All right, so hopping into attachment tuning. Deep customization for highly trained players. I also kind of mentioned it being like a game within a game. Once you rank up a gun, you can start tuning the attachments, where each individual attachment has its own tuning. Yes, there are trade-offs, positives and negatives. To speak more on that, basically an example of this would be, say I want to give a gun a bunch of recoil control, but it's just like, at what cost? If I max out the recoil control, is my ADS now going to be super slow? You know, that's what they mean by those trade-offs. So Yes, you can, crank some stuff up, but you're going to be lacking in other places on the gun. So it'll be definitely interesting to see how that works out. This was by far the biggest thing that blew my mind in this entire presentation. All right, so moving on from gun tuning, they did touch a little bit on the AIs in the game. In regards to the AIs this year, it's going to be completely different. One thing I wanted to mention that they focused on with the AIs is they actually did bring in military personnel to study their movement, to make it as realistic as possible. So these AIs are going to be, checking corners, actually moving their bodies and guns like the soldiers really do. To just continue to, add on a little bit more to that. Like I was saying, everything's just going to be, shared across, the Modern Warfare 2 universe. If you guys didn't know, Call of Duty is coming to Steam. That was an announcement like last week, I think. So that was some pretty good news. Warzone's coming to mobile. We've known that for a while as well. And last but not least, this was something new. They basically let us know that the anti-cheat is going to be live day one. So now to hop into another section I thoroughly enjoy, multiplayer. I know a lot of you guys have a lot of questions about this, and at this point in the video, I hope you are, if I'm not answering something that you want to know, please type it in the comment section. I will reply to you and answer your question. But basically it says all content was built for 3 behaviors. So basically they studied our player behaviors and kind of just grouped us into 3 groups. We have the rusher, which is the more aggressive type of player, the sentinel, which is for defensive type of players, and the stalker, which is a reactionary type of player. That was an interesting type of player to see. And like I said earlier, swimming is going to be a multiplayer. So, there's going to be maps where you're able to dive in the water and get away from the enemies, things like that. There's going to be boats and other types of vehicles. There's actually going to be some new equipment, which we will get into here in a little bit. All right, so getting into some of the multiplayer mechanics, there is a dive, sort of like a dolphin dive. But you can also still slide as well. Basically, they want the dive to be used as an escape mechanic. They said it is a transversal maneuver. Then we have ledge hang. I actually noticed this while I was playing. If you do try to turn your character around on the ladder, it'll have its pistol out. So basically you'll be able to shoot going up and down a ladder. You're actually going to be able to lean out of windows, climbing on rooftops. We've already been able to do that. You're actually going to be able to knock off a door. You're going to be able to blow out tires. You're going to be able to repair tires. So say somebody shoots your tires, you're going to be able to actually fix them. There's a helicopter trooper carrier. Putting in new equipment, like I mentioned a few slides ago, I actually am surprised by some of these things. They are actually adding a tactical camera to multiplayer. I put that example there is because that's one of the examples they gave us. The tactical camera will basically be used for, stealthy maneuvers, like say you're playing search and destroy. If I place a tactical camera in the corner of the bomb and then I run away, and then I can just go run away, watch that camera. You get like an alert. So if somebody tries to go disarm that bomb, that camera's gonna pick that up. They're not gonna be able to destroy the camera before I know that they're there. So regardless, I'm gonna, have that intel that they're there. I think that should be, pretty interesting to see how that plays out. There is a drill charge. The drill charge basically shoots a grenade through a hole drilled. So it like clamps on the wall, drills a hole, and then it shoots a grenade through that hole. So anybody on the other side of that wall is just done for basically. And then we have the DDoS. People were laughing about the name, but they basically told us it's just like an EMP device. And then the inflatable deploy. Now I wish I could show you guys a picture of this thing, but it is by far the funniest thing I think they could have added to equipment. It's probably gonna be pretty annoying and pretty scary if it, like startles you. But basically imagine throwing down a proximity mine, but it just pops up an inflatable person. So I'd obviously be startled if I ran into this thing and it triggered a person popping up in my face. It actually works with water as well. So, I mentioned, popping it on land. If you pop it on land, it'll pop up a person in front of you. If you pop it somewhere where somebody would be crouched or up under something, it'll spawn the inflatable person in a crouched position. And then as far as water goes, if it's one spawn there, the player will be in a swimming position. Getting into the multiplayer map styles, they talked about how the battle maps are supposed to be large and exploratory, like the ground war maps. It's going to be built day one for large scale combat, and then the core maps will just be built for the 6v6. And then to just, kind of like wrap up on multiplayer right here, there is going to be 2 new modes. We were actually able to play both. There is a knockout mode. This mode is described as gunfight meets core multiplayer. Last one with the package wins. The package is like a bag of money, I believe. And then another mode we played was prisoner rescue. This one was pretty funny. I obviously can't go into too many details about it. And then for the other new mode, we have the prisoner rescue. You have to save the prisoners or eliminate all of the enemy players. I don't know why I didn't finish typing enemy right there, but it's chalked. I've literally been up all night recording and you know, trying to get all these facts out. I wanted to really give you guys the facts of what we really know. Obviously, I would love to talk to you guys more about, like, you know, my hands-on multiplayer experience, but I actually am not able to. Feel free to ask me any questions not regarding you know, my hands-on experience with the game, and I will do my best to answer those questions in the comment section. More to come soon. It'll be nice when we actually, you know, can get some gameplay up for you guys. Hopefully you guys did find this video helpful. Make sure you guys do go ahead and drop a like and comment on this video. Subscribe to the channel for more dope content, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. ShawnJ Gaming out.